Welcome to Van Lathan's The Red Pill, where we give you the brutal reality of truth. Today's guest, DJ Megan Ryte. She's a Hot 97 DJ. Hot 97, of course, is a royal institution in hip-hop, probably the most famous, the most prestigious radio station in hip-hop history, of course. Now deeply embroiled with probably what's the hottest radio station right now, which is Power 105 in New York. But traditionally, but traditionally, Hot 97 has been the biggest hip hop institution as far as radio is concerned. And Megan is a personality on there. She's also someone that has a lot of history in this business and industry, and a lot of other irons in the fire. She's on television. She's on the net. She's everywhere. She's hosting gigs. She's on red carpets. It's interesting to talk to somebody who's at a point in their career where they're taking that next step, because it's something that we're all looking to do, and also to talk to them a little bit about their past. That's the professional part of this. The other part of this is that Megan is a fucking weirdo. And we talk about it all the time. We're into some of the same shit. We're going to talk about whether or not dolphins would rule the world if they had thumbs. We're going to talk about aliens. We're going to talk about all of this weird shit that her and I talk about all the time. She's a homie of mine. And we just kick it and talk about stupid, nerdy, weird shit. The name of this podcast is Weird Shit with Megan Ryte, because it has a lot to do with a lot of weird shit. She's also going to give young ladies who are coming up in this industry as DJs, like she is primarily on Hot 97, a little insight into, should I say, how to deal with men who might be less than progressive on some of the issues we've been talking about recently while you're doing what it is that you're doing, how to protect yourself, how to protect your brand, or more to the point, how she was able to do it. Last thing she's going to touch on, very light-skinned sister, what colorism and what some of the concerns of our darker skinned sisters, what it means to Megan, how she deals with the fact that she might have some advantages that other women don't because of her complexion. We talk about all of that. Very good podcast. Please listen to it. Now, I know you guys see that my hair is shaved down a little bit. Okay? See it? My hair shaved down. I have an excited, anticipatory look on my face. That's because I am headed to Anguilla. As you are listening to this podcast, I am on a beach somewhere drinking a rum punch, okay? Or the BBC, which is Bailey's Banana and Cream. Okay, when I say I go to Anguilla and I get a BBC, I'm talking about a Bailey's Banana and Cream. That's a drink. And if you go down to Anguilla or anywhere in the islands and you ask for a BBC, they're going to bring you a drink. Now, I know that a bunch of y'all out there freaks. You some freaks. So BBC has a different meaning. But when I say it, I mean a Bailey's Banana and Cream. It's a good drink. I know what y'all some freaks, man. All right. But yes, so I'm away. I'm having a great time, a much needed recharge. Real quick this time. Was having a conversation with my little brother, one of my little homies. He asked me a very important question to him. He says, how do you deal with never being the most successful person in the room? And this was a sincere question. He says, yo, man, I see you a lot with Charlamagne. I see you a lot with Tay. I see you a lot with people. And these are all guys I've known for years, right? Does it ever bother you that when you go somewhere, people know you, but they know them more? And the answer is no. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me one bit. And it never has. It doesn't bother me because we were talking about setting goals. And the most important thing about setting goals, to me, is that they are your goals. Okay? If you set a goal, if you want to be something, you have to want to be it for yourself. Tell a story about this all the time. A trainer I was working with one time, sees me. I've said this before. He's working. I see guys dunking on the gym. He's going to teach me how to be a better 2-footed jumper, jump off 2 feet so I can do some stuff. This was way back in the day when I still cared about that. And I asked him, are you going to be able to make me jump like these guys? I see some of the stuff that they're doing. He goes, nah, I'm not going to be able to make you jump like them. I'm going to make you better at doing what it is that you do. I'm going to make you a better two-footed jumper. And what he was telling me is, your goal is not them. Your goal is a better you. Your goals are your goals. Find out what you're capable of doing. Find out what's the peak performance for you and go and do that. I can't be Tay. That's not my thing. Tay, like, be matching all kinds of crazy shit. Tay is like a real artiste. You know what I mean? Like this Winston from Hot Cellar Got a Groove Back. That's not for me. Can't be Charlemagne. Charlemagne is like, you give him something, boom, he turns it around quick. Comedy, bang, get right to the heart of it. There's a fearlessness that he has that I like to think that I've had, but the way that he does it is a little different. I can't be any of those guys. I got to be me. And the first thing about that is it has to be good enough for me. If I take my shirt off right now, you're not going to see rippling abs, unbelievable pecs, or anything like that. Nah, you're going to see a lot of humanity. It's gonna overflow with humanity. But that's better than where I was X amount of years ago. I'm better than I was 2 years ago. Doing a little bit better financially. Hopefully doing a little bit better spiritually. Hopefully doing a little bit better mentally. That's gotta be good enough for me for the rest of my life. And hopefully for everyone else, at some point that'll be good enough for you. Simply getting better. I know that you're being tricked. I know that Instagram is telling you if you don't have 50 bottles, if you don't have the new Rolls Royce truck, if you don't have all of those things, that maybe you're not doing it the way that you should be, you know? And maybe that's enough to motivate you to go get more. Some people that feel like that and it works for them. But remember, everything that's for you, you'll get if you just work for it. But if you do it sincerely. If you try to obtain what's for everybody else, you'll always be unhappy, no matter how much you get. I know people in this industry, in this business, in this world, and you know them too, that actually have it all. Millions of fans, unbelievable money, legacy, prestige, all of it. Everything you would think that you would want, they're unhappy. Because they're still chasing what somebody else has. They're still chasing what somebody else got. Not me, ever. Whatever I get is going to be for me, and I'm always going to try to get, the most important thing that I'm always going to try to get is better at whatever I'm doing. So when y'all hooping with me, and y'all see me do a little turn around, up fake, 5 up fakes, old man pull up, 1 dribble jumper, I'm happy I made that shot because I worked on that shit. So dunk all you want. I gotta score 2 points the way I can score 2 points. If yours looks better than mine, so be it. Look, man, I'm on the beach. God damn it, drinking a BBC. I'm enjoying the BBC right now. It's a Bailey's banana and cream. That's what it is. Y'all some freaks, man. Stay off of Pornhub. By the way, Pornhub really makes you think that you missed out by not having a stepsister. That's all I'm saying. Like if you get into enough Pornhub, you think, you know what, Dad, you should have remarried. Because it seems like having a stepsister. We're gonna get into DJ Megan Ryte. It's over. Peace. Megan, you've never had ranch before?
I've never had ranch. It's really weird.
Why?
I don't know.
Why haven't you
now
eaten it?
I feel like I should just not have ranch.
Now, at this point, you're making
like
it,
ever. I should never have ranch.
At this point, you're
now it's
actually,
a conscious decision, yes.
You're actually making the decision not to have had
correct.
ranch. Why?
I don't know.
So when you eat hot wings...
I don't eat hot wings because I don't eat meat.
You don't eat meat?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's probably why I've never had ranch.
But okay, so you never have like some crudité. What do you call it? Crudité? What is it?
No, absolutely
crudité,
no.
And you don't dip it in ranch?
No,
what do you
I've
eat
never
with
had
it?
that.
What are your go-to condiments?
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
I like ketchup.
If you fuck around and dip some fries in some ranch,
I'm
you're
not
going
doing
to lose your fucking mind.
I'm not doing it.
You're going to go fucking crazy
But
if
I'm not
that
doing
happens.
it.
Why?
Because I don't want to. At this point, I feel like, what if I just went like eternity without eating ranch?
That would be fine. But why would you do it though?
Just because. Now I'm more so going to do it because you keep trying to tell me to eat ranch.
Did you grow up in a deprived situation as a youth? Like, did you
I did.
it was tough?
I did.
They couldn't afford ranch, huh?
Probably not.
Damn.
How much is it, $1.99?
I mean, I'm not sure how much ranch is.
How much is it here?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Here's the deal, though. Ranch could literally be like $30.
And you would still buy ranch?
And
what
I
is
would
it?
buy
Is it cheese? Does it taste like cheese?
No, it doesn't taste like cheese.
What is ranch? What is the flavor of like what is ranch?
It tastes very ranchy.
But what is it?
It's mayo based.
You don't know.
But I don't
you
know
don't
what
even
it
know
is.
what you're eating.
I know that it tastes good.
You don't think that's a
though.
problem? It's a random like white substance and you don't know.
Oregano, parsley, lemon juice.
Here's the deal.
You're very knowledgeable.
He's a foodie.
Oh, you make ranch.
Hey, don't get Maddie started with this dumbass shit.
He makes ranch?
Maddie does like a lot of stupid shit that you don't have to do. Okay? Like he does.
Making dinner for my wife is a stupid shit.
Oh, look how you turn it.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Making dinner for my wife is stupid. No, I'm telling you.
Why would you say that?
White people take every opportunity to play the victim.
Do you make ketchup?
I've never made ketchup. Heinz is too.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I'd want you to like mess up ketchup.
Oh, white people in the room, clap for Megan. DJ Megan Ryte. Is it Ryte?
Yes. Don't act like you don't know my name.
Is it Megan Ryte?
Yeah,
She's
it is.
DJ.
Yeah, okay.
DJ in New York's Hot 97. Also, well, tell everybody what you're doing, all the stuff you're doing, and stuff like that.
I don't know. I do a couple other things. I don't eat ranch.
Are you gonna tell people?
Can I get? Why do I have to like do it at the time that you want me to?
Because we're doing a podcast and we're trying to get people into the podcast.
I said I don't eat ranch. That was the first thing that I do or don't do.
Right.
I'm getting ready to start listing, but you interrupted me after I said
we're
the first
trying to do an introduction.
Is this how you do all the rest of your podcast? Does he do all the rest of them like this?
No, we're trying to do an introduction to the podcast for people so they can know who you are.
I'm a DJ.
You DJ,
right?
And what else?
I do some other things.
Like what?
Like
are you
TV?
ashamed of the shit that you do?
No, why would I be ashamed? I was gonna
it seems like you don't want to talk about it.
This is a trick question. Are you trying to act like ask what I do in terms of like work stuff,
or
the things that I want to do in terms of like, are we having alien talk, or are we just going to talk about?
We're going to get to all of that.
All right,
but if people want to know,
I'm a DJ.
Well, I've seen her before.
I'm a DJ. I'm a radio personality.
Right.
I also am an artist.
Okay.
I have an album that's going to be coming out soon.
Right. What's the name of that?
I haven't decided yet.
You haven't decided what the name of that?
That's like a tough.
It's going to be I Don't Fuck With Ranch.
That's not a good title.
I think it's a great title. Like
I'm also a DJ
Khaled, you're a DJ. Khaled had an album called I Changed a Lot. I like that. It was a very direct statement. It was like
I got to figure out what my direct statement is going to be.
It was it was a direct statement. The name of the album was I Changed a Lot. It's like a lot of people have been asking Khaled, like, yo, you think you changed?
And Khaled went, a lot.
Nigga, I changed a lot.
There's a pause. I changed.
And then that was the name of the album.
Okay.
So you could do something similar because you're a DJ as well.
Can you iron this? Every time I watch your podcast and we're here, this back part is not ironed.
No, it's
and because of the red lights,
it's just picking up the wrinkles.
It's even more wrinkled.
Yeah.
And I would like for you to iron it.
I mean, you're here now.
No, I'm not going to iron it.
What I'm saying,
I don't work here.
What's that?
No,
you have. My mama always said, if you had a problem with something, it's best to take care of that problem.
I'm just letting you know because I feel like everybody else should be telling you that it's wrinkled. And I feel like nobody else is telling you that it's wrinkled.
But what you don't understand is nobody pays attention.
I've only been here for like
to
6
the
minutes.
Weird shit that you pay attention to.
You don't know that.
That's very true.
There has to be other people that pay attention to it.
Okay.
Sasha, do you pay attention to the weird stuff that I pay attention to?
Sasha might. Not really. You know what I'm saying? Sasha
you do because we have a lot of conversations about the weird stuff that I pay attention to that you also must be thinking about because you're conversing back with me.
I can converse about anything.
All right.
And sometimes this is done just so you feel safe.
Is this new, this part?
The part's not new.
That's new.
The part is
new. Is the part new?
Is the part new in any way?
You didn't have that part last time. Sasha, you did not have that part last time.
Let me tell you something.
You have changed a lot.
Let me
Look
tell you
at
something.
that.
This shows you how far back my hairline is because people can't even see my fucking part. I've had this part for years. For years, I've had the part.
Is it supposed to be there or a little too?
Nah, well, what happens is this is the side where my hair is thin. So my barber, Trey, shout out to Trey Cuts, feels like if you put a part there, then you'll split up the thin part and like you won't be able to see it as much. But it's not working.
I don't know. Yeah.
See, anyway.
All right.
By the way, was that a personal shot about the part?
No, it was a question. It was. Right. I noticed the part.
Yeah, it's like a personal shot.
I just wanted to know this was definitely personal.
Well, I don't give a fuck about that because
you should. Every day I see the IG video and I'm like, that fucking wrinkled curtain. Like that's literally the first thing that I see when I see it.
That's weird though. Because
It's
there's
not.
content being discussed, and you can't get.
All
your
right, so
fucking
now
mind off of
every
the curtain.
time you put literally the curtain, just
I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna worry about that. You can. You know what? Why don't you be helpful instead
No.
of critical about stuff?
I
man?
don't live here. I don't work
Are we
here.
gonna
I
talk
don't
about
carry
a topic,
steamer.
or are we gonna
This is
banter?
not my show. This is your show.
By the way, we
would make we'd have a great show together.
we would, but you won't even allow me to, because like I do things in the typical way.
What's the typical way?
Like you introduce yourself. You talk
I
about
did.
things that
I
you're
did say what I
doing.
did. I did say I'm a DJ.
Okay.
I'm a TV personality.
Let's talk about your DJing career.
Okay.
How long? Like you're a DJ at
Right.
Hot 97,
Correct.
which is, if not the most famous,
Mm-hmm.
probably the most prestigious radio station in hip hop history.
Correct.
For sure.
Correct.
Even though right now you guys go back and forth with Power 105 right now with who's number one and all that stuff like that, right?
I think that's in any market.
In any market,
there's always you always have a competitor.
Sure.
For the
And
most part.
Power 105,
Right.
since the Breakfast Club has come along, has been like you guys' biggest competitor right now.
Correct.
But in terms of going back, obviously the most famous hip hop radio station of all time is
Correct.
97. And when did you?
He knows.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
bro.
it
We
is.
all
No,
know.
it is. Regardless of it, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get there for all? Because there's a lot of DJs out there
Right.
now. A lot of people DJing.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of young girls out there
Yeah.
who want to become DJs.
There's a lot of young men out there too who want to become DJs.
Yeah. How would you tell them to become DJs?
You just have to practice. You have to buy equipment. That's the first thing that gets on my nerves when people message me and they tell me that they want to be a DJ, and I'm like, "Well, do you have equipment?" They're like, "No." Well, you're not going to be a DJ then.
Right.
You have to. If I don't even take it seriously unless somebody tells me that they've actually gone out and get equipment. And nowadays, it's a lot easier to go and get equipment.
What
You're
kind
not,
of equipment? Like,
I used to take it.
what do you need to be a DJ?
I used
you
to
tell me what
say-
the DJ starter kit is.
It's different now. I used to, up until about maybe 4-5 years ago, I would say if you're not buying turntables, let's not even have this conversation. But now, just with the way, even though I still use turntables, I don't think that that is the only way. And with the way, technology is and the way that they've made, these DDJs and things of that nature, it's a lot, it's okay. You can still be amazing and not,
Have a turntable.
Yeah.
So can you do all this?
It doesn't say, it's not the same. It's definitely,
all that?
and that's
Can
really
you
a
do that?
noise. That's not a noise that like happens. Why do people do that? They're like, picky. Like that's not even, that's no noise. Like, no.
That's the thing.
No.
I mean, what's this little deal right here?
It's not, but
And
it's not.
This is DJ right here.
It's not.
You point out the
It's
crowd
not.
and
But
shit
see,
like
that's
that.
the pointing is like,
Y'all point.
no, I don't.
DJs
who am I
point.
pointing? I'm not just like, maybe if someone says, what's up?
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do? We're gonna go back through Megan's Instagram.
And see if I'm pointing at people.
I'm going to find an example of you pointing at someone while you're up there and you're DJ. Because
Am
every
I
time
saying
show a DJ
hi?
well, I'm no. You're.
I'm not like, oh, what's
but you
up?
might point,
Like, I'm
you're
not.
pointing at somebody.
I'm definitely not pointing at
DJ's
somebody.
point.
No.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay. First of all, relax everybody with the going and looking for the pointing. Who did that?
Maddie did it. I'm telling you.
I don't point.
Maddie,
I don't
find-
point.
She points.
I don't.
Like, look
That's
at,
not
look
pointing.
At the thirst trapping that's
First of
going
all,
on in
why
your
does it
Instagram.
gotta be
Oh
a thirst?
God.
Why is it a thirst trap?
Like
That's not a thirst trap. They're pictures.
Hey, play this video right up here of her.
That's not a video.
Let's see if she points.
That's
Not- not that.
me
That's
talking
you
about.
Talking to who? You talking to who about Game of Thrones right there?
Yeah, they're actually talking about my
Can
shoes.
you go back down, please, Maddie?
There's a DJ
Play
video.
this
There's
video
a
right here.
DJ video.
Play this video right here.
What is that?
Let's see if she points. She'll point. Oh wow, who's shooting this, by the way?
Shouts to Mia. Mia's shooting this. I'm stretching.
Okay, so you got.
So the turntables are very far apart here, which is actually incredibly annoying and not what's supposed to happen.
Why are the turntables so far apart?
Because it was built that way for somebody who worked there a really long time ago, and it costs too much money, from what I understand, to actually, because just to actually sit and redo it, you have to like rebuild out the whole thing. So they don't rebuild out anything.
Yeah. What's your opinion of the celebrity DJ?
I used to not be very happy about it.
Right.
Because
You changed a lot.
I changed a lot, I feel like just as you would earn any other title, you're supposed to earn the DJ title. So it's, if one day you're not DJing, the next day you're just like, I'm a DJ, it's like, But you can always tell the difference between somebody who really has a passion for it or somebody who really wants to do it and they are doing it for that versus the person who's doing it just to like make money. And then sometimes you're like, well, that sucks. But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, if that's your...
So,
So
I
celebrities, celebrities.
Right.
And I'm not talking about like A-list celebrities, but even if they did it, I would still. But what it seems like is like sometimes if you love music, that's one thing. But then some people do it as an excuse to, I guess, make money when they don't have other things going on. But then if someone's willing to pay for that, but if you're not really DJing, then why are you disrespecting
When you say not,
culture?
I'm trying to get you to. When you say not,
what are
really
you trying to get me to
DJing,
say? Why don't you tell me what you're trying to get me to say instead of trying to get me to say it?
Because people from the
Ask the
outside,
question
people
directly.
from the outside, it's hard to tell the difference between what a DJ does.
Right.
I mean, like obviously, if you're familiar with hip hop, you know that DJs
Why
come
is
in.
it hard to figure out what a DJ does? What do you mean by that?
Because it looks like everyone's doing the same thing.
Okay.
If you go to a club in Vegas and
Okay.
and fucking
The trickery.
Tiesto's there,
Okay.
and you go
Got
to a
it.
club there, and what's the guy's name? The other guy that throws the cake on people.
Got it.
The
Stevie Aoki, right.
Stevie Aoki. It
Okay.
doesn't. You can't tell the difference in what it is that they're doing.
Okay, I can tell.
I'm sure you can.
Right. So there's different aspects to DJing, obviously. I do not think that DJs should ever pre-record a set or have somebody pre-record a set for them and then press play, and then that is what it is. That
Right.
to me is like, you're not a DJ.
Right.
You could be a performer.
Yeah.
But you're not a DJ.
Right.
And that's sometimes what people do who either have gigantic followings or trying to find a way to keep making money or whatever. They'll have somebody, do a set for them, maybe in Pro Tools, something's already put together. And then that's when the pointing happens because they're not doing anything.
Right.
So if you're doing the pointing,
then
then
they
that
point.
means something, it's already, and then the knob's turning and you're not doing anything. Like I know some amazing DJs who can DJ on the radio but can't DJ in the clubs, or people who can DJ in the clubs but cannot DJ on the radio.
What's the
or people
difference?
who can be in somewhere in the crib cutting and scratching but could never do a party. It's there's different arts to it. And then I know people who can do all of it. So it just depends. And then obviously quite a few people who can do none of it and put it in a Pro Tools session and then point,
Right.
because that's not we're not
you're
doing
a
that.
purist when it comes to this.
Yes.
You started DJing when?
I've been DJing since I was 16 years old.
What made you want to start?
Well, I wanted to be a singer and a dancer and all these things, and then somebody told me that I couldn't do either.
Why?
And I was like, well, that sucks. Because I actually could not do it. Like I cannot
sing
sing
and you can't
and I
dance.
can't dance. Yes.
Wow.
So I went to I started college when I was really, really young. I actually went to college when I was 16, and I'd never been to a party before, like a real party. But I used my college ID to get into parties.
Yeah, never been to a party before.
Yeah.
You went to college. Okay.
So, but a real, I'm talking about I was young. I was 16 years old when I went.
No,
So
I
I
get
wasn't
it.
going to the club.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe you were. Maybe you was thinking.
How was it? I'm
Where
just
in my
saying.
life I wasn't going
But
to the
you
club.
had been to a party before,
But
right?
not on that extent. Not going to some venue. I'm not being at someone's house is different than actually going with the DJ. I'd never been to that. Right. So I remember using my college ID, thinking I'm not gonna be able to get in here. But they didn't check my regular ID. They just checked my college ID. I went into the party and I was like, what's happening?
You like that?
This is cool.
Wow.
And I realized that you have one person who basically, this is back when people were dancing at parties and stuff. So you have this one person who is responsible for how everyone's night is about to be. And it's kind of like you're taking them on a journey. Because also back then you had a DJ for 6 or 7 hours. It's not any of that 45 minutes, I'm done, and then there's 10 DJs on the bill. You're actually DJing. So whoever this person is in a sense taking you on this journey, and doesn't matter what kind of day you were having outside, when you step in here, you're having a good time and you're going through this with this person. And I was like, I want to do that.
I want to control the party set.
That's what I want to do.
Very important. And then you started. So
Yes.
to become a DJ, the first thing you had to do was
Buy equipment. No, I kept telling people I was like, can you help me? Can you teach me? And they're like, girls say all the time they want to. And I don't like when people say that because I feel like anybody says it all the time. But they took me even less seriously because I was a woman.
Oh, wow.
Even less. They're just like, oh, please, whatever. Nah. And then I would start actually before I actually had the money to buy, nobody in college, you don't have money. Everyone's broke. I actually had a job because I was independent student. So I needed the money. So I had a job. So I would convince someone to teach me how to DJ, and I would buy him Wendy's.
Wendy's for
the DJ. So I would bring Wendy's to his house, and then he would go and do whatever, and I would just start
And you would let you use its equipment.
Use his equipment. So
Really?
that's how I started practicing first.
Right. And then it took you how long to get to become where you felt like you were proficient in any way?
I don't remember. I do remember I started trying to get work almost immediately because I needed money. So I was at that transition when people had just stopped using records and Serato had just happened.
Right.
Right. So I was like, I need money. Like I need a real, like I need to figure out how to make money. So I would actually go to the clubs because I was, at this time I was living in like the Norfolk, Virginia area.
Yeah.
So I would go down to Virginia Beach and I would I would like do a mix and put it on a CD and I would just go to clubs and I would go in there and say, can I talk to the manager? And they'd be looking at me like I was crazy because I was like a teenager and I'd lied about how old I was. And I would go in there and I would say, I can DJ. Can I DJ here? I can DJ. Can I DJ here? And they looked at me like, sure.
Yeah, why not?
I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I don't really see. Sure. And I'm sure I was fucking terrible.
Right.
But I went and I tried and I kept trying and I kept trying
Until you got good at it.
until I got good at it.
Wow. You know what? That's actually
Yeah.
give it up for her. Persistence. That's actually a little noble story. We started off with a great deal of animus. Now I have maybe like 0.5% respect for you that you stay persistent on what it was that you wanted and you were able to figure it out. Nah, it means a lot. So it starts to work really at what point?
Like 10 years later.
10
I'm not
years
gonna lie.
later. Damn.
That's see, I have these conversations like a lot of times. Like I'll see like they'll be like I say the kids, but they'll be like won't even be that much younger than me. But it's like I guess they're starting in what they're doing, and it's like everybody thinks now. I guess because of where we are with social media, that things just happen like this.
Yeah.
So they assume, okay, I'm doing this. I've now changed my bio. And this is what I'm telling the world that I'm doing. So now everyone's going to get it like this. I'm going to start making money like this. All the jobs and stuff are going to start coming in. No, it was the complete opposite for me. I started getting good. It was actually a struggle because I didn't grow up listening to hip hop music. So when I wasn't allowed to.
No ranch, no parties.
No
hip-hop.
no ranch, no party, no hip hop, no shit. Right. So when I started DJing, there was a lot of music that I did not know.
Were
so
you
when
in there playing Harold Melvin and the Blue
no,
Notes
so when
or
you're
some shit
when
like
you're
that?
start
Like,
no, listen.
What-
When you
what-
start gallery, no, I'm just kidding. when you start DJing, you have to be an opener first, right? Which is the best place for you to be. So any DJ who's like, nah, I want to skip and I want to go, and just be like the headliner, you're fucking everything up. Not just for what's happening, but for yourself because you're not going to learn anything, right? So when you're an opener, you have to know how to play the correct music to open up the party for the headliner, right? And be able to play it in a way that you are basically warming up everybody for this person to get on. There's like an art to that too. So you have to do that without playing the hits. You play a bunch of hits. No one's going to give a fuck because they're not drunk. They're just walking in. So you're basically wasting that music. So you have to be able to play the right stuff. And there was a lot of stuff I did not know because I didn't listen. So, one of the people who really helped me, his name's DJ Mr. Nice, and he used to do like these like 25 and up parties, right? So when you go to a party that's 25 and up, 25-year-olds go to 21 and up, but a 25 and up party means this is like super fucking grown, and you got to play grown people shit, and that's it. We don't want to play none of it. We don't hear none of that. You got to play that. So I would open up for him, and I would like clear the dance floor like consistently. Like, and that is like the worst feeling because
everybody's just walking off when you start playing.
He would DJ, right?
Right.
And he'd be like, all right, now you go. And he'd be like, I'm going to go, whatever. I'll play one song and everybody walks away. And I'm like,
fucking with this bullshit.
I'm like, what did I do? Like, how did I play one? He'd be gone for like 15, 20 minutes. He'd come back, play one song, and everybody would. And I'm like, what is happening?
What were you playing? Do you remember what it was? Name the artist.
I don't remember.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I just know that, like, but because of that, I knew there was a lot of stuff that I needed to learn because now I can think how long I've been DJing, right? And I know what the hits were during certain seasons, what songs did better than others, right? But if I'm playing something from like 97, right? Something that I don't know what is like the dreams and nightmares of this year and what's just like, oh, this is like just a cool song. So I'll play them in the wrong orders. So imagine I'm doing a party and you play Dreams and Nightmares and then you follow it up with like some that makes no sense.
Right.
And they're like, we was there, and now you just ruined it. Like that's what I was doing. And so I had to understand and do a lot of research and learn a lot of music to figure out how to play things in the right way, and also read the crowd, because it's like you can't go into a spot and play the same sets, which is how it fucks up with those people who record. You can't do that. You have to, if you're gonna experiment and go outside of the box, it's like you can play something, you can look around, you can see how people react. So I can play something, I can look, and if I play like a B-side of something that you wouldn't think people would fuck with and everyone's going crazy, that gives me an idea of who's in the room and a bunch of other stuff that they're gonna want to hear, and it kind of dictates my night, if that kind of makes sense.
Right.
So
there's a lot of trial and error.
It's a lot of trial and error. And then you start as you do it, you start learning, you picking, you can read, you can see, and then it's a confidence thing too. Because if you go in somewhere and you're playing and you're just like,
right,
I feel like they can feel that energy.
Yeah, they know.
So if
because you're not pointing at them,
you're not. That's not. That's the. You know,
they know that you're not.
If you're
connected
pointing,
to them,
right,
you're not going.
yeah, you're not connecting, right?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
It's a pointing thing.
But then the mic game is also important too.
Which was that the mic game?
I used to not talk. You couldn't get me to say, I couldn't even say last call for alcohol.
Yeah.
Like it took me
I'm
like
not gonna
10
lie.
years to say. I was so afraid. And then I'm like,
So
everybody
you got niggas
knows.
getting like going to the bar and getting shut down and shit like
I'm
that.
just like, I'm not saying nothing. You say, I would give it to the security guard. Like, you better tell them no more alcohol, because I was so afraid to talk. And that's also a very important part of it too, because you have to be able to control the crowd, you know? So you have to be able to tell stories.
It is like, we don't want y'all to talk too much, though.
Right. You have to find the balance.
Yeah, a lot of
find the balance.
DJs is talking
Yeah.
a little too much.
You have to find the balance for
Let
sure.
these niggas rap.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to find the balance, but you can also set things up and control the crowd and do it a certain way.
Like,
if
what are
you
you
could
talking?
do
Like,
it,
talk
if you
on
could
the
do
mic.
it
Like,
right.
let's say you
No, I
DJing
can't
right
do it.
now.
I'm not.
Just
I'm
do
not,
it.
I'm not.
What
I don't
would you
have to
say?
listen to you.
Like, I'm just saying, like, what would
I'm
you?
not.
What do
not.
you-
I mean, with this crowd.
What do you say? Like, what? Like,
No.
let's say you was look at Austin right here. Let's say you was trying to pump Austin up to
But
dance
I wouldn't.
terribly.
That's not what I would do.
So what do
But there are some DJs who do that. It depends. If you're like, it's like really hard to DJ at an event and like it's empty, but you're still getting paid to be there, and you still got to make it the best. So you still have to act like it's packed, even if it's empty. So then that's when you have those people who are good at that, and they just start talking to certain.
Yo,
people
red hat,
individual.
turn up or some shit like that.
I mean,
what do you
like,
say though? I want to know what you say
I
when you're
don't-
up there.
It depends. It's a case by. If you're not listening, I was trying to give you the whole outline. It's a case
I'm
by
giving
case
you the
thing.
outline, but
and
like
you're telling me what would I say to Austin? Like,
listen,
right
here's
now.
the deal.
He's obviously not interested in being at this club.
This is the thing. There are a lot of young DJs listening
right,
to this right now, right? And they want to know what they should say.
Well, it's
and
a
what
case
you're
by
not
case
doing
situation. I'm doing
is
exactly
telling them what they should say right now.
because I don't know.
Okay, you don't know what they
Yeah.
should say.
No, because it depends. It's case by case.
Yeah,
Have you not been listening?
I am listening.
All right.
Well, I know what we're gonna name this podcast now, man.
Have you not been listening?
Fraud ass DJs. Like,
That doesn't even make sense. Because who are you talking about? Not
You.
me. You're obviously not talking about me.
because you're not giving people what the information
You're
that they need.
obviously. We can just. You gonna edit that little part out before he gets in trouble?
Wow,
Yeah.
look! Oh, you're upset.
No.
So let me ask you this: so you're DJing, and then is there any artist that you can think of right now that gave you a break as a DJ for you to go out with them or spin a set for them or do something like that?
The first artist I ever DJ for was A. Marie.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Is this?
And I actually reconnected with her recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you have a baby. Congratulations.
I was
She's
on
so
A. Marie.
cute.
I was such a big A. Marie fan, man.
So she came to the station. And what I used to do, because I used to do morning radio was like my first job in radio, which is like unheard of. It was like an accident how it happened. And I was getting $6.25 an hour. So it wasn't like I was
Damn.
making that was my first radio job. I was doing mornings. And I was the female voice on the morning show. And what I used to do is I was always the person that was like, I want to do more. So it's like I get this job and I'm like, okay, now what can I do? Okay, now we're interviewing all these artists, because even though we were in a tiny market, as they were coming down from New York, down through Philly, DC, they would always stop in Norfolk before they would like keep going to Atlanta and stuff like that. So we would get like a lot of big names. So when artists and stuff would come down, I'd be like, I'll walk them in and I'll walk them out. Don't worry about it. And so as I was walking them out, I would say, do you have a DJ?
Wow.
And they would be like, yes, but thank you. Do it again. Do you have a DJ? Yes, but thank you.
Persistence.
Do you have a DJ? Yes, but thank you.
What a life
Finally,
lesson.
Lenny Nicholson, who is was A. Marie's manager, is still, but it was also her husband, but just manager at the time, was like, oh, no, that would be kind of cool for like two women. Like, have you ever done this before? I'm like,
He said what?
yeah.
What'd he
Have
say
I
again?
ever like toured with an artist before. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're like, yeah, you fake it till you make it.
I never, ever. And so I just was like, I'm just going to act like I know what I'm doing.
And then you went out with A. Marie.
And I went out with A. Marie. I did A. Marie. After that, I went out with K. Michelle.
Okay.
One of my favorite human beings on this planet.
Okay.
We have some amazing, amazing tour stories. I just saw her the other day, too.
Right.
She had called, she had done one of those things on like Instagram where she told her fans to come through this listening session. So I popped up. And so I proceeded to tell them about all of the time that she would like, we only got into one fight.
What was the fight? Tell me about the fight with you and K. Michelle.
What did she do?
Because I'm not going to lie.
I can't remember.
I wouldn't fuck with K. Michelle. I would never fight.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely don't. Don't. But I'm going to say that. So Kay, when I first started working with Kay, she, amazing, talented artist that was new. Nobody knew her. And it's very rough to be a new artist and then you're going out on tours. But the thing about her is she's so insanely talented that it didn't matter that nobody knew who she was because she would get on the stage, she'd kick her shoes off, she'd have a cup of Jack Daniels, she'd start talking shit, and then she'd start singing.
Right.
And it's like you can't help but be like,
yeah,
who is, you know, right?
Yeah.
So I don't remember what we were fighting about, but I quit. I was like, I'm done.
You're like, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. Fuck this. Fuck you. I'm done.
Right.
We were sharing a room because money, Atlanta put us in the same room. So I went into the room. She had a key, and I put the little latch thing on the door so she couldn't come in because I was like, she's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the little latch. So she comes to the door and starts shaking her. I'm like, you can't get in here, and there's food in here already.
So
I'm not coming out. Fuck you. I'm done. Like, I quit because I can't. I don't remember what the basis of the argument was about, but she was screaming, and she had like a really big showcase like the next day. Or it was either the next day or that day. So she was like, come out. I'm like, I'm not coming out. Like, you're not about to fight me. I'm not coming out. And I quit so you can figure out what you want to do. I'm not opening the store.
Right.
I don't remember what got me to open the door, but I ended up opening the door and she apologized. No, she did not. Thank God. She did not. And we never
argued. It would have been a better story if she'd have like beat the dog shit out of you.
No, but she did try to beat up a promoter once.
Damn, K. Michelle is really with the shits.
Because they was trying not to pay her.
Oh, no,
so she was like, oh, you going to take money out. So this is before people were not taping. Like, you didn't take your phone out and like videotape on your BlackBerry. Like, we weren't, doing that. Yeah. So we had a show, and she comes up to me while I'm on stage. She takes a glove that she had, a bedazzled glove. I don't know where she got the glove from. And takes it out of her back pocket, puts it on, and goes, play Eye of the Tiger. And I'm like,
what?
What? She's like, play Eye of the Tiger. I'm like,
you just had Eye of the Tiger?
I mean, I had my whole DJ set. I had like everything, So I was like, Eye of the Tiger. So I'm like, all right. So I go, dun, 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 dun. And she brings it to the mic. She's like, y'all fucking with my money? You fucking with my money? And starts like boxing on stage and telling the promoter to come on stage because she was going to beat him up. And I'm like, he's like, you better give me my money. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, duh. And I think he ended up giving her money, but he was like,
because he was probably fucking petrified.
And I don't even understand
that
how
shit was crazy as fuck.
We ended up I think we was in like Little Rock, Arkansas, or some shit like that. We had like no security, no manager. I don't even know how that happened. But she's like literally one of my favorite my favorent people because she's authentic. I like anybody who is themselves.
Their real self.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is.
Self.
That's who you are.
Talk about being a woman in this industry where there are so many rappers, so many dudes, so many guys that you have to sort of manage their egos and sort of their expectations and things like that. Has that ever been an issue for you?
It was a lot worse when I was younger. It actually stopped bothering me about 2 years ago.
It stopped bothering you or it stopped being a thing?
Stopped bothering me.
Okay.
So when I was really young, I used to get fired from clubs. Like, I've been fired from clubs for not like sleeping with promoters, sleeping with managers. So imagine like you're working your ass off, you think everything is all good, and someone tries to hit on you. That's what you're like. It would be so bad where I would be scared for someone to hit on me. I'd be like, please don't like me, because if you start to like me, then we have to have that conversation of me not being interested, and then you'll take that however you take it, and the next thing you know, I don't have a job. Yeah. So it doesn't even have to get into like anything relationship. It just has. I'm just thinking, please don't like me. Right. Don't like me at all. Please, because it gets tricky, and that would happen to me a lot, and I'm like, why does this happen to me? But then it's not happening to
the guys.
I'm like,
well, there's an obvious answer to that.
Yeah, but that's like,
it's not a fair answer, but it's an obvious answer.
It's like with women, especially like then, it would become super personal. Everything that I did, it was like, and it would always seem like, men versus me, and it happened a lot until, so it's like even with artists like I think the more I became who I was, it started to, which is crazy that it even has to be like that. It's like they kind of, I don't know how to even say it. It's like when people start to know you, like now people know me.
Right.
So it's like, what are they gonna,
Yeah.
you don't want to be a dick. Like, I'm
Right.
not saying that people aren't gonna have, it's okay to like hit on people. That's not the problem. It's okay to be interested in somebody. It's just how you take it after that,
Sure.
But I think the Me Too movement helped me a lot because it
Because
seems
now
like,
guys are a little bit more afraid to fuck up.
no, it's not even that. It gave me the strength that to realize that like I can speak my truth, because
Right.
that's the most fearful thing I think of for women in industry is like you're afraid to say the truth, because if you speak your truth, then you think about, where am I not going to be able to work? Am I going to get fired? Will I not be able to do this afterwards? Now I have to talk about it. Now I have to think that people might think I'm lying. Now I have to deal with whoever these people, like whoever the person is, their circle, their immediate circle. What are they saying about me? Am I going to be blacklisted? Like, those are all the things that you're afraid of
What you
just
just
from
said
speaking
is
your truth.
so important, because I think people just think that for a woman to speak up, or for anyone to speak up and to talk about a situation that they've had with an individual, that's just them and that individual. No, it's that individual's entire sphere of influence.
Right.
And then a sphere of influence that might be an offshoot from one person in that
Right.
sphere of influence. And that's just how quickly things spread
Right.
around the industry.
Right.
And can have you really fucked up with a whole lot of people.
And not, luckily, like I used to think that I was the person who used to think that everybody was a piece of shit.
Right.
Like, and I've gotten out of that. I've met some like amazing people in the industry that I know. It's like, if somebody said something about me or whatever, it's like, but
Yeah.
when you're not as established, you worry about that.
Sure.
Like, and then even you see what happens with some women now that super are, and they just say something, and then it becomes like, I've dealt with situations like that literally up until like last year. And I'm not even saying up until last year as in something has changed. It's just luckily nothing has happened, since then. But it was a lot worse when I was younger. And then now I'm not as afraid to speak up or talk about it or say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not as afraid just to call, like tell enough, like, and be like, yo, let me tell you,
Yeah.
the fuck, you need to like,
Right.
before I would say, let me tell you what happened. Please don't say anything. Please don't say anything
Now it's
to
like, go
anybody
handle
else.
that.
Right. I would literally say, do not repeat this. I'm just telling you because I'm upset and I'm trying to figure out, but do not repeat it, because if you say something, I don't know what he's going to say. And now I'm just like,
Fuck it.
yo, somebody better call him.
Yeah.
Somebody better call him. And the Me Too movement helped me in that way. And that's what it did, because it made me feel like, all right, let me be strong and do those things instead of, kind of feeling like somebody has a hold on you. Because when things are a secret, that's when they really have something on you. And then when it's no longer a secret, it's kind of.
What do you say
to
to men in the industry who feel threatened by the Me Too movement, insofar as they say that it hinders their relationships, professional and otherwise, with women, that they can't be sometimes who they are, they can't joke around, they can't play around. And some dudes I've actually heard say, yo, that's going to actually stop me from hiring women, because I don't want to be in a position where anything I might say or do could be misconstrued.
Are they that simple minded?
Are they that simple?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I
Of
mean,
course,
yeah.
because-
Obviously, they're incredibly simple-minded, but what would you say to them?
Because of course, there has been, I've seen a couple of very, very unfortunate situations where it seems like people have taken advantage of the Me Too movement. You're like, that is not,
Yeah.
But it's okay for somebody to be interested. It is okay for someone to respectfully say or do. What's not okay is for you to close the door and have a special button under your desk that closes and locks your door, and then you pull your dick out.
Right.
That's not okay.
Right.
So if you're worried,
That's really not okay.
If you're worried about
think
not
about
being
that.
able to do that,
Yeah.
because oh my God, let me not hire a woman because then I'm not gonna be able to have my secret button.
But think about
like that's like fucking.
Think about that though. You have to love pulling your dick out so much that you had an engineer build a contraption for you to be able to pull your like.
I don't want to keep looking at Austin, but
I know because you're making because while we're having this conversation and you're making eye contact with Austin, and Austin is like, what am I supposed to do while we're talking about this? But I'm when I think about that, I'm like, one day you think at your desk, you're like, yo, man. It's a lot of work for me to get up and go lock the door
to do some fuck
shit.
shit.
It'd be raw if I could just press a button and all of this shit locked down. That's like beyond. Yeah. But that's the kind of things that
if you're worried about, like,
yeah.
How about you just don't fucking be weird and gross, bro?
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. It's when you're not. Don't be weird and gross. That's it.
You feel like
don't be weird and gross.
The Me Too movement has affected the men in the industry that you deal with in any sort of way? Are you seeing less of this attitude, more of this attitude? Is it the same?
I do feel like it has changed in a way where people now realize that, what I always thought was an issue was people thought, well, that they're just being men. That's how men are supposed to be. I don't think that that's true. So if you keep saying that over and over again, it's okay because that's how men are supposed to be. It's okay because that's how men are. And then all of a sudden someone says, that's not okay. That's not how men or anybody is supposed to behave. Then it's like, okay, now let me rethink all the things that I've kind of been programmed to think is okay. And I don't think it's necessarily like wrong for people to all of a sudden have to come to that and be like, okay, well, now I have to, am I making any sense?
Not really.
Like, sorry.
I'm just, no, you
I said
are.
Sorry to you.
No, what you're saying is, you're saying is once it's not even deprogramming someone, it's like reprogramming them and sort of realigning what they think is appropriate.
Right.
And letting them know that some things that they might have thought were appropriate because they were in a mob setting are actually really fucked up.
Yeah, it's actually not. You shouldn't do that.
Right.
And instead of saying, well, how about just, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I think people also are aware when they're doing shit they're not supposed to be doing and when they're not. Especially some of these, some of the stuff is the button is crazy.
You gotta know the button's wrong.
How do you not know the button is wrong?
Yeah, you gotta know the button's wrong.
That is crazy.
Right.
Letting somebody go or firing them, because you're no longer interested or being with, that's also wrong. And that also becomes more than like a Me Too, like a workspace thing. Those are things that you get in that little pamphlet of things. This is what you're supposed to do in work. This is what you're not supposed to do. If you've got a relationship, if you're worried about that and you have a relationship with somebody that you're working with, that's when you notify and say, this is what we are doing. So then there won't be any problems because you've already done the proper steps of notifying if you insist on having like workplace relationships and things like that. Those are company guidelines and stuff then. It's just don't
fuck up.
And don't get a button. Like
the button's bad. The button's bad. I want to ask you about something else. I want to leave planet Earth for a second. Megan and I talk about.
Look at Sasha shaking her head. We can't leave planet Earth.
We talk about your obsession with extraterrestrials.
Why is it an obsession?
Because you send me shit about aliens a lot. Okay. And
so I went to go get coffee, which was not good, by the way. I was really upset about it because I've been searching. And Sasha comes into the coffee place.
Where was the coffee from?
I don't know. Sasha comes into the coffee place. She's like, I find it very funny that you've been in here for like 60 seconds and have already found a way to send me like an alien meme. It was actually it was actually a gorilla holding a monkey in it. I mean, a gorilla holding an alien in his arms. And she's like, how did you in 60 seconds get that, order your coffee, send that, and then,
What's your deal with extraterrestrials? Why are you so... Why are you so into them?
Why are you so not?
I didn't... Well, first of all, we've engaged on this topic.
That's what I'm saying. So you do care about this stuff. So why did you start this whole red pill, wrinkled curtain situation off with not caring about the things that I care about?
Well,
that's the statement that you said.
I'm asking you what in your life, because this is about you.
Okay,
why are you so into the aliens?
So
tell people what your fundamental belief about aliens is.
Okay, what? Well... Hold on.
Right. Well,
you're being aggressive about my fundamental beliefs about aliens.
What are your fundamental beliefs about extraterrestrials?
We'll take it back. So I was very close with my grandfather. I had a very tough childhood. The only kind of places that I kind of felt safe was when, like, on weekends I would go spend time with my grandfather, right? So normal kids are read like normal books, like little baby, like A, B, C. I would sit on his lap and he would read Scientific America.
Okay.
So from a
fantastic.
very early age, I was obsessed with aliens and black. I used to like my book reports and stuff were like all on like black holes and things like that because that is what he would be reading it, and that's what he would be reading aloud to me,
Sure.
right? And so by the time I was like in 5th grade, I did not believe in time because he would tell me that time does not exist and this is why time does not exist. And so I'm like a 5th grader, like, it's 3 o'clock, but not really, you know?
right,
So
exactly.
then as, you know, internet and Google and things and whatever, it's just
This
you
is
just have to be
difficult for you to
you
talk
have to
about,
be
isn't
very
it?
no, it's not. But you have to be. It's not at all. I'm just saying as you progress and as the internet goes from just signing on to now it's just got all of this shit. You have to be really careful, like the wormholes that you go down.
Oh, I go down
You
them.
have to be very careful.
No, I don't think you have to be careful at all.
Yeah, you do. Especially for me, it's like I'll see something and I'll be like, so I believe more than not believe because I feel like it's like we're programmed to think like certain things are acceptable, but then other things are so crazy. And I'm like, but why isn't that crazy? You haven't seen an octopus? Octopuses look fucking weird, bro. They're weird. They look weird. But because we see them all the time, we're like, that is an octopus. You see a rhinoceros and you're like, that thing has a fucking horn growing out of its head.
Do you know what I think about?
Wait, I'm not
duck-billed
the-
platypus.
Weird as shit. Weird. Weird.
I
Austin,
think
weird.
there's no creature because the duck-billed platypus exists. There's no creature that I can believe any creature exists because it's a fucking beaver
Weird.
with a duck bill.
Weird.
It makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Weird. So we look at all that stuff and we're like, this is not weird because that's what it is. And then as soon as you see something like a little bit on top of that, they're like, oh, there's no way, there's
Look
no
at the
proof.
fucking duck-billed
Look at that
platypus.
thing is weird. I just got
look
little.
at the goddamn platypus.
I just got little like goosebumps. I don't know
Well, look
why.
at him swimming around
That's
here.
weird. How does the face just go from like
Boom into a
that
duck
to-
bill.
It's weird.
You know what I'm saying?
It's weird.
Like I always thought.
Sasha
By the
likes
way,
it.
by the way, duck-billed platypus poisonous. Like what you like?
Weird.
It's cute. It's like a weird animal
Yo, what is the big bird? The bird that was like eating
that can kill
humans?
people in Florida.
Yes.
Hey, go to him.
That- weird. That bird
the
is
fucking guy who
weird.
killed the guy in Florida. This bird is fucked up. It's
Yo,
a dinosaur.
That bird, that's what I'm saying. Birds,
No, Google.
birds are
Bird
closer
kills
to
man in Florida.
dinosaurs than reptiles are.
Bird kills man in Florida. Watch. Here it comes. Boom. In Florida.
In Florida, of course,
Look
it
at
happens
him.
in Florida.
Bam. Look at him.
Bro, no, that's not even the one I was talking about, but that one is crazy. You know the one I'm talking about? The one with the.
What's his
I gotta
name now?
find
Click
it.
It's called a cassowary. A cassowary bird right there.
Most dangerous bird. Yo, them birds is like.
No, but I'm fucking with you
So
on
you
this.
see what
This
I'm
makes a lot
saying?
of
So
sense.
my thing is like, all of this stuff is normal.
Right.
Okay. But anything, you
Well,
can't say something and they're like, there's no possible way.
Well, okay. Well, if I were to push back, this is what I would say: that all of these things, while they're weird, they have to do with an evolutionary system that has existed here on planet
So how
Earth.
do you know we're not an evolutionary system that exists on planet
Well,
Earth?
what you'd have to say was that you'd have to then take that evolutionary system and make it expand it to a whole galaxy and universe,
Okay.
which a lot of people think is an intellectual leap that they're not ready to take.
So that's what the problem is. They're just not ready. But they're ready to accept. It's like, we accept, it's like, this says this, so this is what it is.
Well, we're accepting this because it's evidence. There's evidence that this bird exists.
But look at its feet. Look at it. It's weird.
Let's kill you.
It's weird.
There's evidence that this bird exists, and we can sort of talk about where this bird came from. With extraterrestrials,
Why isn't there evidence that they exist?
there's certainly less evidence that they exist.
Why? Just because they always happen to come
What
from,
is the evidence that they
from
exist?
farmers from Middle America?
What is the
that,
evidence
is
that-
that
I'm
why?
asking you, what is the
that
evidence that
why?
they exist?
Do you
I'm not
find,
saying that I
okay, how
don't
about
believe it.
let's I want to ask you questions. This
Sure.
is the Megan Red Pill podcast.
Go for it.
Do you find it strange that our leap in technology, like all of a sudden, it's like we've apparently been on this earth for, I'm not going to say how many years because I don't want to all of a sudden get those comments. I don't know how many years we've been on this earth, depending on
Right.
if you're religious or not. Either way, I don't know.
Right.
But it's like within the tiny little fraction, all of a sudden we've had this ridiculous jump in
the way things
technology.
go.
No. Why? Why? Why?
Because
Or what about all the technology that we used to have that then all of a sudden got lost?
think about you.
And then where did it go?
Like think about this. Think about you riding a bicycle, right? Think about you riding a bike.
Okay.
So you ride a bike. You can't stay up on the bike. you can't stay up on the bike. You can't ride the bike functionally. The moment that you actually learn, the moment that you wobble, and you ride the bike.
Yeah.
Think about how much better you get exponentially at riding your bike from the moment that you've successfully stayed balanced on it from the time that you couldn't. The way the human brain works and the way things go is once you have something like the minute that the wheel was invented, the minute that we have the wheel, now we think, okay, this works. Now we have a cart. Now we have a push cart. Now we have all of these things. We start learning exponentially faster the more we get over these humps. You have a steam engine, cool. You have a steam engine. Now you have all of this stuff. Now you have the printing press, bam, and then it just gets faster and faster.
That sounds good, but no.
It doesn't sound good.
No.
It's fact.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. No. What about, do you ever get worried about like the water? The water is very terrifying to me. I'm not afraid of a lot of things. You know, I talked to you about my white activities. I like to jump out of planes. I like to like rappel off buildings. I like to do like, I don't like the fucking water.
Okay.
Bro. You know how like really rich people like go on their yachts and like jump into water from their like rich people yachts and then just like all in the middle of the ocean? Do not ask me to do that ever. I'm not doing that.
I'll be in Anguilla 2 weeks. I'm going to swim out into I love to swim.
Not doing it. All of that stuff under there, you don't think there's anything under there?
Of course there are things under there.
Dolphins.
What are you, they're dolphins.
I'm definitely not going because of the dolphins.
What? You're obsessed with the dolphins?
I think we had this whole conversation on, I don't know why we DM each other and not just text each other, but DMing just feels a little bit better for conspiracy theories. It just feels like that's the place where they need to live, right?
Yeah, right.
So dolphins, like, I swear, first of all, if those niggas had thumbs, bro, we would be in trouble. That's the first thing.
Hold on for wait.
The Dolphins had thumbs.
I gotta stop Megan. Megan sends me out of nowhere. By the way, this is my life. Out of nowhere, she sends me something and says, "Yo, have you ever think about like what if dolphins had thumbs?" And I'm like, my nigga, the fuck are you talking about?
Mind you, I don't do any drugs. I don't even drink alcohol.
Right. She's like, what if dolphins had thumbs? And then she starts to say that the only thing that's really stopping dolphins from taking over everything is the fact that they don't have thumbs.
But I don't necessarily know if they want to take over everything or if they're just dying to tell us something. I feel like they know mad shit, and I feel like they can't tell us because our brains do not understand. They're like the only mammals that actually communicate with you, that we can prove that they actually communicate with each other. So they're just like, hey, what's up? How are you? Oh, I'm good. How are you? Like other animals don't do that, you know? I think that they're probably, every time they like be jumping in there, every time they're doing that, there's probably like, yo, hello, they're coming for you. Y'all keep fucking around.
What the
technology?
Fuck are you talking about?
Seriously?
What?
You don't think dolphins know anything?
Warning us about something?
I'm not sure. But I feel like they know some shit, and we don't know because our brains can't understand the. If you just Google dolphins, humans.
Maddie, could you please?
Dolphins, aliens. Dolphins.
Oh, so you think
technology?
So you think that dolphins are in some way akin to aliens?
Or they can definitely talk to them. Okay, that's really fucking weird. And I could not. I could have done
go
without
back.
that.
There's the article that she read. If dolphins had thumbs, they will probably destroy us all.
Okay, haven't seen this article. Literally have not seen this article.
Right. A new study published in Nature, Ecology, and Evolution has shown that dolphins are as intelligent as humans in almost every way, but their lack of hands and opposable thumbs means that even if they wanted to destroy us,
they don't have the right appendages.
Right. Okay.
I didn't write this, by the way.
No, it appears that a collaboration between scientists at the University of Manchester, the University of British Columbia, Canada, and the London School of Economics and Political Science and Stanford found overwhelming evidence that dolphins have sophisticated social behavioral traits similar to those found in humans. That I do not disagree with. I just want to know where the thumbs thing comes in. I get all of this. Get down to where fortunately, go down to this. It says, fortunately, the one thing on the list of traits that humans and dolphins have in common is opposable. The one thing not on the list is opposable thumbs. Literally, the only thing keeping us from being dolphin slaves is thumbs.
But I'm not sure if they're mean or not. I know there's some studies about them raping.
But listen, just go back up.
I mean, but
also the dolphins have all of these things, right? All of these things. None of that stuff means that the dolphins, if given the opportunity, would dominate and take over the earth.
I didn't. But here's the thing. I'm indifferent about that. We've talked about this. Don't act brand new because now we're in front of the camera. We've talked about that I'm indifferent about if they actually want to take over or not. But I do know that they know shit, bro. I'm telling you, they be down there. So they're probably like, yo, hey.
I'm sure that they know stuff.
And I think that there's the way they communicate. There was a whole article that I read about. There was an article that I read. This is not touchscreen. There's an article that I read about how the way they communicate could help us communicate or understand if we can communicate with aliens.
Right.
Because of the way they communicate with the sonar technology.
Now that takes a logical leap that in some way the communicating with dolphins is akin to communicating with aliens.
I think so.
Okay, why?
I think that, what do you mean why?
Why is a question that questions the basis and the foundation of what makes you think something. So I'm saying, why would you think that communicating with a dolphin and communicating with an alien would be the same thing?
I think it's because of the way that they say that dolphins communicate with each other. I'm not a scientist, so for anybody who wants to start talking shit and say, I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, it's obvious. These are all theories that I start to think of at 3 a.m. that I feel like somebody else is also thinking about
There's something else that we greatly, what is this? Dolphin greets, wild dolphin greets human.
They be saving people. That's why I think that they're like,
there's also something else that we disagree with.
I didn't know that we disagreed with the dolphins.
Disagree.
Because you were acting like disagree. Before that we
don't
agreed.
disagree. We don't disagree. I just don't think the dolphins mean us any harm. But this is what I'll say.
But you just said they rape people.
Yeah,
but then there are some humans that also rape people.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So there's obviously bad.
They rape because I don't think they know any better. I don't know if
you think they don't know any better.
You think that dolphins are up on consent? I don't think that they necessarily are. I think that consent.
That dolphin is probably escaped from dolphin jail.
But I think that I think that consent is a human construct, and dolphins might think, "Yo, it's we on and popping every single time."
That's what I'm saying. But that doesn't mean that they're not smart enough. Oh, hey, bro. Even though they scare me, bro. They so scare me.
Yeah. He's just hanging out. So we have a fundamental difference of opinion.
Right there. They're like, hey, run for your life.
About aliens. You think that aliens would come to Earth and want to be down and hang out with us and be cool.
I know. I'm also indifferent about that. You keep saying that I think these things. These are questions that I pose.
We went back and forth on
these
this.
Are questions that I pose because I read an article. They're questions that I pose.
If aliens have taken the time to make their way billions of light years to get here to Earth, they are here to take the Earth.
No, okay, they're questions that I pose. There's a couple reasons.
You don't think that that's a fair assessment?
No, there are questions that I pose. Remember the most recent article that I sent you, where it said that we could either do this. It's more likely that we're the ones that do this, or it could be the aliens that do this that actually like accidentally kill us because the way like imagine we're like clearing up like a forest, destroying because we want to build some apartments or some shit like that. What are we killing? So many things, even like a whole ant, like we're killing entire, and we don't even think about it or realize it. So is it, but we do.
We don't care.
But we don't even realize it. We don't care because we're not thinking about the well-being of ants.
We're thinking about the well-being of us because that's what a higher species does.
Are you a bad person or a bad higher species because you're not thinking about the well-being of ants? Or you're not walking on the ground, right? You accidentally kill an ant. You don't even know that you did it. Right. You're not like, I'm just out here ant murdering. Like, you don't know that you did that,
but what you do know is when you go into a forest, or as the Western Europeans, Austin's people, shout out to them, when they came to America and they murdered 15 million people.
Correct, but that's not my point.
They knew that they were
I'm talking about you
people.
Walking from here to your car and accidentally killing some ants.
No, I don't know.
Right.
That.
So it's possible that could happen to us, or it's possible that we're doing that.
As a human being, I realize that maybe not in that particular case because these areas are developed, but I realize that if I go into the woods and cut down a bunch of shit to build some stuff, that there are habitats there that I'm destroying.
If you buy a lot of land, if you buy an acre of land somewhere and you're building, are you not sleeping at night and so upset because you're worried about some of the bugs?
It's not that you're not sleeping, but you realize. Are
you even thinking? You're not. I guarantee you, you're not even. The idea of killing some bugs is not even on your mind.
No.
You're right. So why is that so different for that to happen with another society and ours, or for us to have already been doing that? And then why do we think
I can
aliens?
Answer that question right now.
No, wait one second. Or we also.
Can I answer the question? I'll answer the question. The reason behind that is because if I'm an alien species, right? Mm-hmm. You're not talking about killing ants. You're talking about.
But what if they think we're ants?
Listen, you're talking about You're talking about killing Indians. Because the reality is, if
what
the
are you
aliens,
talking about? From India?
No, excuse me, killing Native Americans. If the aliens are smart enough to have traveled billions of light years across an ocean of galaxy to get here, they'll see that we've established complex societies.
An anthole looks pretty fucking complex to me. How do them niggas even do that,
I know,
bro?
but
How do they even build the anthole with the?
But when you destroy the anthole,
We
you
don't think.
realize that
No,
you're
we don't
killing
because
it.
sometimes we don't even see it.
Right, but
That
but
turns
you
into a
cannot-
whole different
but you cannot
conversation about
travel to
dimensions.
Earth
Don't.
and not
No,
see Earth.
how?
Because
Why?
Earth is your destination.
I don't know,
Because,
but how do you know it's the destination? And how do you know we're
Earth
not
is
going to
a
be the ones
destination.
doing that?
Earth is
And
a
also, step back.
by
How
the
do
way,
you
we
know?
would do it if we
How
had
do you?
the-
And how do you
if
know
we had the
some of the stuff
technology,
that's
if-
actually
if
on
we-
Earth
if-
is not alien already?
See,
That's
now
a
we're
whole.
going into more bullshit.
Whoa,
if we
it's
had
not bullshit.
if we had the technology, we would certainly colonize this entire universe as far as we can
What
get.
race of people?
No, I'm saying if
We. What are you saying we? Because I'm
Human
not.
beings.
You think we, as in me and you, would go and be like, I'm going to kill all these fuckers because
nah, it's not where our descendants are African. It's not.
that's
our
what I'm
nation.
saying.
But,
That's what I said. I asked you what race of people.
Right, but what I'm saying is, the human being, some representative of planet Earth would surely colonize. They're talking about doing that now.
So the other article that I read where they actually think that we could actually. Do you think? I'm very indifferent about this. That we're the first. Because we're actually the first intelligent species. Like no other species is actually as like yet. Do you think? Because you understand if you
And what
if
do you mean
okay,
intelligent?
so if you believe in the Big Bang theory, right? The reason why everything moves forward. So basically, it's bang. Everything's constant. The universe is constantly expanding. We learned that from everything's constantly expanding, right? Which is the reason why if I have a glass, I drop the glass breaks, right? All of a sudden I can't be like glass, put yourself back together because the idea is that everything is always moving forward and expanding, right? Even though mathematically speaking, if you do like the equation or whatever, technically you could probably do some kind of equation that would say, okay, this would make sense for this glass to go back together, but because we're a moving forward type, right? So do you think that we are the first, or do you think it's just humans and their egos or whatever in the area that we're the first beings to actually reach this stage, and that there are other society, like other civilizations, but they're back where we were 50,000 years ago. They haven't got to us yet. So we're like, that was the whole article, the last one that I sent you, that basically said we haven't been able to find evidence because we are the first.
Because we're the first people to build ships and planes and all of that stuff like that. I don't know. There's no way for me to know.
You don't know? Why did I come here thinking you had all the answers?
Well, what I'm saying is there's no way for me to know.
Right.
There's no way to quantify.
Right.
Like,
or do you think humans were just fucking because we always think that we're the best at every fucking thing?
Well, obviously, because we don't have direct evidence of an extraterrestrial being,
or
we're
do
going
we?
To, we're gonna
or do
the
we?
masses of people, not the
Or
three
do
people.
I?
Like because we obviously think that we're the center of life life in the galaxy. We think that.
Right.
Now, that could easily be realigned by the knowledge of a different life form.
Oh, I know. I remember now what you're thinking about, why you're telling me you disagree, because you have the Stephen Hawking thing, because I had this theory that would be lovely. I don't know if it's like, it would be lovely to think that a sign of higher intelligence means that you're not out here like being like, I feel like people who are like super mean and rude, they're just fucking stupid. So the idea of like being extremely intelligent, you would think that you would care about life and not, just going out and just murdering and doing shit for fun, because I think that you should be, if you're intelligent, you should be more, bye Sasha, you should be more like intelligent than that. So if you came here, you would not.
But
so that was my nice theory that I sent you. And
but
then,
that's you. But you're
are you telling me I'm not Stephen Hawking?
No, I'm saying that you're assuming that intelligence comes with some virtue.
That's what I'm saying. I
don't think that's true at all.
I would think that
I think the smarter human beings have got, the more precarious our situation on Earth has become. Because the smarter we are, the better we learn to destroy each other. And so.
But do you think we're actually smarter?
Yeah,
or
sure.
we just have
we're
more
smarter.
access to things?
No, we're smarter. We're smarter, and we're getting smarter. And the smarter we get, the more sort of the Earth hangs in the balance.
I don't think we're actually, because I feel like the more technology and stuff we have, we're actually dumber. It's the technology that's smarter. We're dumb as shit. We used to do shit and do things and use our minds in ways that we don't have to use it anymore. So you don't think we're actually becoming like
depends on
Dumber.
depends on your measure of that. But what I'm telling you right now is that human beings started off with a bow and arrow and ended up with a hydrogen bomb, and one is way more complicated to create than the
Oh
other.
my God,
is.
did you see Chernobyl?
Yeah, I saw Chernobyl.
Okay.
You know what, Megan?
What? I
You're
just
really
want to-
carrying a heavy load. You really you stress that being out.
Why? Because I said Chernobyl. You said hydrogen bomb, and I was watching Chernobyl.
You stress that being in your head out.
I was watching
You're giving that
Chernobyl.
motherfucker as much as it can actually handle.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it
Alright.
at all. But do you ever?
But obviously, if you're having these conversations with me, and then you can go back and forth with me, you too are just dressing.
I just like the bullshit.
Okay.
I love having a conversation, especially with someone who's off the wall, because I wonder, because I wonder, are you like in it because you're an artist? You have
Right.
songs that are coming out. You work a lot with Pro Era, right? And so I wonder if you're in there in a session with Joey or CJ or one of these guys,
God.
and you go, yo, y'all niggas ever think about whether or not dolphins, if
Yo.
they had thumbs and whatnot,
Yo.
will be? Because how can these niggas rhyme when they're thinking in the booth about dolphin? When Joey puts out an album called Dolphins with Thumbs, I'm gonna know where that shit came from. Yeah.
Right. But you don't think you don't think that he thinks about things like this too?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying that I don't know if he does or if I don't know the brother.
I
but,
was going to say, because if you want to talk about people who actually think about,
he's obviously
Yeah.
a very intelligent man.
So-
but this has nothing to do with intelligence. This has to do with the application of weird knowledge.
but why is it so weird? What I find interesting and what I want to look up, right? But then y'all niggas be on fucking ESPN all day and looking at sports stuff and then just going crazy, right? And you spend all your time doing that, but that's not weird at all. But what I'm choosing to think about is actually weird.
listen.
And you're thinking about it with me because you
I
do
love
the
it.
same, right?
I love it.
Right.
Listen, I get caught
Off
up
the wagon. Is
I
that
get,
what you said?
I get caught up. I get caught up in things, and then I go get on top of them too, and just
But then I let it go, and then I just go back to what did you say?
right.
Thank you.
Picky. So you have an album coming out? Do you?
I do.
What's the name of the album?
I don't. I told you I didn't know. I
But-
changed a lot.
It changed a lot.
I changed a lot.
Right. Part 2.
Yeah.
Who's on the album?
I'm not telling you that.
You're not gonna tell me who's on the
No.
album? Why?
No, I've been working very hard on it, and I'm actually very excited because it is not easy.
So wait, why wouldn't you tell me?
Because I don't want to tell you.
You're like-
Now I understand why artists should be like, I don't want to tell you.
I wanna tell you who's on the album. Why are you afraid you're
it's
not
very
gonna?
No, that's not it. It's very difficult. I give Khaled so much credit. This is his 10th or 11th album that he just put out.
Yeah. What do you think about that whole Khaled thing with the #1 stuff, all of that stuff?
I think it's the way that we do things now with the packaging, and that's not a new thing. They were doing it a long time ago. I remember when Prince when he became the symbol and then was packaging songs with tickets and things like that. That's not a new concept. So I think if it's something that they already worked out, then it should be accepted. And
You
if
know what
it's
the
not,
thing was though?
something with dietary something in code. I can't remember what it was, but he was
from
packaging
from
with.
what I understand, and anyone who isn't intimately sort of acquainted with the details of this is this. What I understand is you can package it, you can bundle, right?
Right.
And I guess Khaled and these people, and if anyone that represents Khaled out here hears this and I'm wrong about this, please correct me. From what I understand is that Khaled and his people had a Shopify link, had a Shopify thing or whatever, and it was going to be connected to the bundle was going to be a case of soda, right? A case of energy drink or something like that,
Okay.
right? And apparently what Billboard thought was that if you bought a case of this energy drink, you were going to get a download from the Khaled thing, and they were okay with that. But what the Khaled people wanted to do was make not the case of the energy drink one download, but every specific can of the drink that's inside of there equal to one download. So you're essentially buying one thing and getting 12 of them or 6 of them.
What did the paperwork say?
I don't know what it said, but the Billboard people looked at that and they were like, after thinking about, they were like, we don't think that you can't do that because you're
Shouldn't
trying
that
to get
have been
12-on-1.
determined before they agreed upon it?
I don't know.
So that's what I'm saying. Whatever the paperwork said, whoever's lawyers are better and made it more concise
Right.
is what it should be, because that's
Do you think
just,
it's fair? Not fair. Do you think it's appropriate?
I mean, they've been doing, but they've been
I'm not gonna
doing,
because you
no,
might want Callan on your album. I'm not gonna ask you this question.
No, it has nothing to do with that. But they've been packaging. This is not a new thing.
Right.
Remember that one time we got our phones and we looked down and we had a whole U2 album on our phone?
My nigga, that's one of
Like-
the worst moments in iPhone history.
Like-
But I want to talk about this. I'm glad. I fuck with U2 heavy. Do you know why I stopped liking U2? Because every time I put my fucking phone on, a U2 song started playing. That's not the what the fuck I want, dog. I don't want that
That's
shit.
weird. Mine starts at A or the numbers. I
It's
don't know why yours started at U.
But I had a brand new phone, so the only
Okay,
thing
so
that
the
was
only
on
thing that
there
was
was
on it.
And right now, by the way, there are 3 songs that are seared into my memory. One is Miguel, a beautiful something from that album, because that was
B.
the autoplay song.
Yeah.
The other one is T-Fly.
Mine's the
Action.
Mine's the Weekend Acquainted. Every time I turn my
Bruh.
phone on, the Weekend Acquainted
Bro,
comes
so
up.
T-Fly, if you can hear this, bro, I know you're somewhere. That song, Action. I'm gonna play it right now. Action by T-Fly. It starts every single time. Right there, look. Action.
Okay.
Every time I turn my phone on. Watch this. Excuse my liquor. Every time I turn my phone on. And sometimes if you... No, I can't turn
No,
it
you
off.
can't turn it off.
Now, if you're in a bad spot and title won't come up, that song just plays.
I don't think the argument is whether or not it's okay what he's doing, right? It's whether or not they agreed with it, because he's not the first person to package and to do that.
Right.
So if that's what you're going to be mad about, you got to be mad at what people have been doing for I don't know how many years long, because they've been doing that for a long time. So
What's your end goal? Because you've been doing some TV stuff too, right?
yeah, I wrote a book.
Okay.
I had a really great meeting, so I'm hoping
What's the book about?
about my life.
Okay.
So, and what's very interesting because of what we do, you know, I'm sure like we write a book and you take these meetings, and the first thing that people think is that my book is going to be full of like entertainment gossip, and it's not. That's not what I want my book to be about.
Right.
So, you know, I had to be very careful and cautious and hopeful that who I meet and present it to. It's not about aliens either. Who I meet and present it to, understands that I want it to be more so about my story than about somebody else's stuff that has nothing to do with me. So I had a really great meeting on that, and I also wrote a TV pilot based on that. And so I want to expand in that way and start doing a lot of creative stuff in TV, and then also music is always going to be my thing. So I want to do you ever listen to something and you're like, why is this the soundtrack, the scoring, why is it so terrible? It doesn't even make sense. I watched the John Gotti movie, which is the whole Pitbull, love you, but Mr. 305, the whole movie was Pitbull.
Okay.
Makes no sense whatsoever. So I want to create, certain content and then, do a lot of the music for that as well. So that's where I see myself.
Last topic I'm going to broach with you. You are a black woman, are you
Done.
not?
Yes.
You're a black woman.
Yes.
You're mixed?
Yes.
Okay. You're a fair-skinned lady.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yes.
Yeah. You're basically translucent.
I mean, okay.
You're a fair-skinned lady.
Tanning challenged.
Do you feel at all when darker skinned sisters talk about you've had a lot of success both on the radio and on television.
Right.
When darker skinned sisters talk about when they talk about what they feel like the privilege of a lighter skinned woman is in terms of getting looks, getting things, getting situations like this. This has been an ongoing narrative.
Absolutely.
Do you feel what they're talking about?
Absolutely.
Do you feel
I agree
like
with them.
Do you feel like there's ever been any advantages you've gotten because you're fair?
Oh, I'm for sure. I can't, but at the same time, I can't necessarily be like, I remember this moment when, but for sure, because I see it on the opposite when it's happening to other people. You don't always realize, when it's happening to you, but for sure. Like I did my music video, On and On, my first one with Tory Lanez and Hood Celebrity. And when I did a lot of the casting for it, and I'm like, this is who I want to be Tori's interest. This is who I want, wherever. Because a lot of the times people think one certain way and they think, okay, this is what we want and this is what you see kind of like pushed and this is the idea of beauty that they want to create, which is completely a false narrative, and they put that, you know. I fucking feel like my life was fucking difficult regardless, so I'm sure that there were ways that I could have got.
How was your life difficult?
You know, just I'm talking about as far as being in the industry and being a woman and doing it. I was already dealing with the challenges of being a woman regardless of anything else.
Yeah.
Right. So that was already a problem, you know, from the beginning. So I'm sure there's definitely been times and definitely been situations, but you know, I think it's, are you talking about in terms of the Tory Lanez thing that just happened? Well, I saw that and I'm a little confused by that too.
Well, the Tory Lanez thing that happened.
But for sure, I think it happens with men and women.
We should say the Tory Lanez thing happened is that there was a video of, I guess, a lighter skin, a darker skin actress in the Tory Lanez video, a video he was featuring and being swapped out for a lighter skin actress.
Which is,
and Tory Lanez stopped that.
Right.
There's been some speculation. We had Tory on the podcast. He seemed like a very nice guy.
Love Tory. He's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, he's dope. There's been some speculation about what actually happened, but from what's on video, that is what happened on the video,
which is crazy.
And I guess my point is, as a man, and then as a black man, as a black man, we don't think that there's very much privilege that we enjoy in America until it comes down to our relationships with our women.
Right.
And then we realize that there's a ton of privilege that we as black men get that black women don't get. Now,
correct.
There's a lot of black men that are going to bristle and be upset that I said that, but it's a fact. And being a man, you have to sort of confront your privilege if you want life to be better for your sisters, right? If you want life to be better for your sisters, you have to access your privilege, use it for them, and also be willing to not access it when they need you to be there for them.
Wasn't there a situation when Yara Shahidi, when she was it? I believe it was her. I could be mistaken. When she chose not to take a role because she felt like, I think it was for Black Panther. She chose not to take a role because she felt like the role should be casted to a woman with a darker complexion.
Right.
Which is 100%.
All things like that. I guess what I would say is, as a lighter skinned woman, have you ever thought about a way, if you know that that privilege exists,
right,
have you thought about a way to confront it or deal with it to help out sisters that may feel like things are a little bit less fair?
I think the best thing to do in general is just to do what you think that you can, which is why I said with my music video. Like, I casted my music video and I purposely was like, okay,
let's make sure we
right. I made Tori's love interest a beaut. I was like, she is so gorgeous. Her complexion is so gorgeous. Like, that's who I want. Like, I purposely will make choices in that way to say, hey, you know, I want to put her here and I want her to be here, because they don't all like that whole.
We just trying to be representative of how our communities look.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. So I try to do what I can in terms of that. And then obviously if anybody asks me a question and they say, do you think it is a problem? I say, yes, I think it is a problem.
Right.
Yes, I do. I do think that they cast a certain way, or I do think that they may think like this is like the safer choice, which to me is equally as ridiculous, you know? So I think, but it's difficult, you know, sometimes you just don't see things or don't realize how it's happening. But then when you do is when you have to either speak up or try to make the right choice. So I think especially when Yara made that choice of saying, okay, of course she would have loved to be in Black Panther, but this role is not for me. So I'm going to take a step back and allow somebody who this role should be for. That is ways that we as in people of a lighter complexion, Black women like myself, could do to say, okay, that's how I can help and change this. Like, you know, what was that role? Love Zoe Saldana, Nina Simone.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I would like.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
No.
Yeah.
You know.
No. Like,
no.
You know, I love her too, but like,
that should have been like, no.
If you're gonna make the Nina movie, cast Nina the way it was.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Last thing I'll ask you: you really think aliens dropped technology off on Earth, and that's why the Industrial Revolution and all those things got sped up?
I didn't say that. I asked you a question.
Maddie,
I changed.
Maddie, didn't she intimate?
No, intimate. She literally said, "Can I ask you a question?"
Dropped technology off to us.
No, I just asked. What do you think about the? I asked. Do you not remember? I said.
Do you know how many times it took Edison? Do you know how long it took Edison to develop the incandescent light bulb?
It's people like you.
It took him a long time. It's not like Edison was
people,
like,
it's
"Hey, I think I have a
people
deal for a
like
light
you.
bulb," and all of a sudden some
Did
alien
you,
went, "Beep, bop,
did
bop,
you
go,
read?
Edison,"
Somebody just
and
asked
then
Trump
gave him
about
the light bulb.
UFOs. Did you read his response? It pissed me off so bad.
What did he say? He said, "UFO, huh, UFO."
It was like a whole paragraph of like
UFOs think I'm great.
nothing.
What? He said nothing.
He said nothing. He said nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, last thing I want, because I do my daily alien search. Last thing I want is to search my daily alien
fuck is
search
a daily
and see
alien
Trump on
search?
Google. It's like alien, put in search just to see what's the latest and greatest.
Okay.
Wait, real quick before you're done with me in this podcast. There
What?
is a new show that I have not gotten to watch on the History Channel. It's the dude from Blink 182 who decided that he did not want to. Yes, he did not want to be a Blink 182 person anymore because he decided that he has to do what's right.
Is this
and try
alien?
to-
Is this the alien
he decided
artifacts
he
or what
wanted
is it
to
called?
do what's right.
What?
He's been working on this for a long time.
What is it? What is it called?
It
I know
just
what
no,
is-
it just started on History Channel. I haven't gotten to watch it yet.
What is
because
it? What
I would
does he
like
do?
it. I would like for a couple episodes to come out so I can like binge it.
Nah,
and
we'll
not be
watch that shit. But like,
he basically decided to stop Blink 182ing because he wanted to do what was right and help unclassify UFO and dedicate his life to that.
okay.
So that's what he's doing, and he has a new show on the
Letting
History
y'all know.
Channel.
I'm just letting all y'all know that do shit like that. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Well, do you
It's
think this?
motherfuckers out here starving. You guys are trying to find ET.
Well, what about what you're
It's
doing?
motherfuckers out here
Look at what you
starving.
do.
What do you
There's
mean, look at what I
motherfuckers
do?
out here starving, and you're
Oh.
over here talking shit.
Oh,
to
by the
me,
way,
especially.
by the way, I help my people.
So you don't
I'm
think
not
I
gonna
help
use
my
spare-
people?
I'm not saying you don't.
Look what you're
Are
doing
we
in your
talk-
spare time.
are we
You are
talking
actually
about you?
talking to me.
Nigga, we at work.
What? I'm not at work.
I'm at work. We on the clock. You
What?
like. I'm
Right,
talking
so-
about
so
the Blink
but
182 guy.
he's
See
at
how
work.
convicted how-
But that's his job.
No, his
he's
job-
getting paid for that.
he's millionaire
So why
for
is
Blink
wait?
182,
So
and
why
whereas
can you
his
talk shit
motherfuckers-
and get paid, but he
it's
can't? He
million-
can't do what he do about aliens and
You
get
just
paid.
said this
That
nigga-
makes no
wait.
fucking sense
You just said
whatsoever.
he dedicated his life.
Because that's
to
what he wants to
getting
do.
alien documents. God
He wants to do
bless
for a
him.
job, for
I'm just
work.
saying- I'm saying that's his thing. Fine.
I'm still
That's
DJing.
great.
I do aliens on the side.
By the way, that's the name of the podcast.
I'm still DJing.
No. Not I'm still DJing.
I do aliens on the side.
I do aliens on the side.
ranch.
That's the name of the podcast.
Side of ranch.
All right, listen. We're gonna get the ranch situation. How long you in town for?
Not gonna tell you because I'm not eating ranch.
You're gonna eat the ranch.
I'm not eating ranch. It's gross. It just looks gross.
Wait,
Sometimes it has
wait,
little
wait,
specks in it.
wait,
sometimes it doesn't.
wait.
I have
You're
nothing to eat
so
ranch with.
into the unknown.
But I will
You're
not
like
eat
you're
ranch.
talking about the unknown and eons and fucking billions of
I'm
miles
a very
away,
exciting
but you
person.
won't
I gotta keep
eat
people on their
ranch.
toes. I make things interesting.
White
It's
people
the only
clap for
reason
DJ
we're-
Megan
was the
Ryte,
only reason we're
please.
friends.
Clap for her
Thank you
as
very
we
much.
get her the fuck out of here.
Thank you. It was great. It was great seeing you.
It was great seeing you too. Try some ranch with the fries.
No, ketchup.